Okay.
like that. So, have a seat anywhere. I'll come over and go in and sell out the lunches.
Okay.
I'll come over and make a intro for the video here in just a second. But yeah, that seat right there would be fine.
Straight in the front?
Yep, right there.
Okay. I got it. Don't worry. Huh? Yep. YouTube. I got it. Don't worry.
You might need a rest of tripod.
Hey, so I really hope, like...
Where you rib it on your piece of skin and it becomes a fixed nut.
What are you doing?
Composition's off.
Huh?
They're going to hear music's off.
Probably.
Oh, Lord.
Don't say anything you don't want on the internet. Oh, there's 40 people on. Yo. What? Oh.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But maybe not.
Well, yeah, in my notes, whether we did that or not is my question.
Yeah, but that would be reimbursed.
Yeah.
It will be AIP.
No, I think we got our, it's not reimbursed.
Well, I didn't get a hold of Ryan. Tried a couple times that day. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and I just saw her. And I didn't think they had.
Oh.
If you're just joining us live on YouTube, we're in Marion, Indiana, and my chief videographer is holding the camera steady. We're going to do a presentation here in Marion, Indiana to some cadets here that started just a moment if you're just joining us here. So that's what the purpose of this live stream is here. So we'll get started.
Mr. President. Yeah. How are you? Pretty good. How's your flying going? Good. Getting more familiar with that airplane? Yeah. Feel more comfortable? Yeah, I get there.
Listen, I'm on a live stream right now. My arm is gonna hurt. I will eventually. Oh.
He model would be the one.
Front row, man. Except I don't think the mic's on. Even though it says it's on. I don't know what I'm supposed to do there. Oh, it is on.
That's my medical. Got to do it every year now. Third class, every year.
Insurance is requiring that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the only guy that I've got.
It takes too long. And I could kick him out. I could put offices in there. Probably disrupt his business, you know.
That was $60,000.
Yeah, so they got a nice
Oh, yeah, 6 figures. Well, it still seems to me like you said there's some reason why that would not come out of Bill, but I will find out.
We made it out of our
No, I'll give.
that was not in the grant.
I'll give Eileen a call this afternoon.
You better give me $1,000 restricted foot.
It's so funny. Notice like in the middle of the check.
Hi guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome. This is Hangar Talk. We do this the third Saturday of every month, and we get together, fellowship with other people who love aviation, and learn. We always want to learn something, and you'll learn something every time you fly, and I don't care how long you've been flying. You're always learning. And so that's what we love to do here. We love to teach safety and how to fly better. But I'm your host. I'm Dwight. And housekeeping stuff. If you need a bathroom, it's straight in there to the right. So feel free to go to the restroom if you need to. We will we'll start off with introductions because we've got a lot of new people here. The cadets that are in training. We are so glad to have you guys. I hear you and see you up flying quite a bit. It's just a delight to see you guys learn this. What a blast! You're gonna get. I got hooked on it years ago. My brother, who's in the back, got me all excited about flying. He's my instructor, and now my son's back there. He flies, and our whole family.
I don't think anyone can hear anything that way.
You don't think what?
So
I don't think they can hear.
I'm going to start off, and let's do some introductions with the cadets, and then all of us local folks. We'll introduce ourselves to you as well, and tell you how long we've been flying and what we typically fly. And you tell us who you are and where you're from.
I think it's far enough where they can't hear.
Yeah.
And then like the echo of the hangar is not helping.
Yeah.
I'm Dwight. I'm the host here. I fly this TBM. It's a TBM 910. Is my practical airplane, and I use it practically. And then my for fun airplane is that orange and white one up on the wall up there. It's a North American T-28, and it's down for maintenance right now. But it's the fun one to fly. And I've been flying since 1991.
I think it's okay.
Let's start us off.
My name's Derek Rubio. I'm from Texas, and if I get my license, I would like to try to. I'm James. I'm from South Carolina, and I'm really excited to be here. It's been awesome getting to fly the past few weeks. So, yeah. I'm Tegan. I'm also from South Carolina. So I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone has to share and what I can learn from everyone.
My name is Clayton. I'm also from South Carolina. These two. Working towards my PBC vital part for my career path that I want to go to. So I enjoy being here.
My name's Hudson Santiago. If you can't guess, I'm also from South Carolina. I'm just really looking forward to finishing this program and having my license, so I can just fly my program.
My name's Roger McGee, and I think you guessed where I'm from, South Carolina. But I'm hoping to be the first person in my family to be a full-time aviator.
Let's just keep going right on down the line.
My name is Jessa. I'm the Student Life Program Director. I'm working with the students, but I'm also getting my pilot with Mitchell right now. So I'm excited to be here.
Howdy, my name is Andrew. I'm one of the instructors for these wonderful cadets from Florida. I've been flying for probably about 11 years at this point, and I'm just excited to be helping them out, getting their
My name is Jeremy. I'm from Indianapolis. I did all my training and stuff before the shirt. Yeah, I started flying. I started at Purdue 6 years ago. It's been really fun teaching these kids how to fly. They're very impressive children.
My name is Mitchell Wilkins. I'm a full-time instructor here at the Marion Airport from a couple of your talks. So I'm here year-round. This is my second year helping with the cadets. So awesome to see the way the cadets come through. I'm just happy to help. My name is Andy Garland. I'm the airport manager here at Marion. Flight instructor also. And sold in 1990 and got my license 2 years after that. And family business, so just been around aviation and flying bird.
Hello, my name is Ivan Newton. Started flying in 2013 and didn't get my commercial license till a few months ago. So just finished up. Hope to get my CFI here pretty quick.
Jason Smoker, pilot here.
I don't think they can hear.
Flying at 182 in the Bear. So happy to have you all cadets here. This is a great time of year to see the academy. So be safe.
Just stand up and face this way.
I'm Daniel. I'm from Marion here. I've been flying for 50 years. Don't know how much longer.
Ray Dash, retired corporate pilot. Got my ratings at Purdue University many years ago. Flying for 52 years. Doing advanced RP-14.
My name's Randy Chigueras, and I fly a P210. Live here in Marion, Indiana, and I've flown for 50 years plus.
I'm Evan Dean. I'm working on my private pilotship and license as well. I'm going to get that pretty soon.
I'm John Dean. I'm Evan Dean. Started flying in 2005, got my license in, have a beach crack on the
I'm Alyssa. I'm from Arizona. After this, I want to go to
I'm Jeffrey. I'm a engineering student at the university. I'm really excited to be here, having flown these last 3 weeks. I'm truly looking forward to getting my private pilot certificate and back to you.
My name is Charlotte. I'm from Alaska, and I'm have no
Hi, I'm Glorious Lane. I'm from Newcastle, Pennsylvania. And I've been having fun learning how to fly. Stable, I'm from Colorado. And the pilot is trying to pilot license to Terra Pilot to the Air Force.
I'm Jessica Kowskis. I'm from Florida, and I'm so happy to be here to start on my aviation journey. I'm Nora Brett. I'm from Florida, and I'm from pilot's license to help push my way into the Air Force.
Here's Sandy Rodriguez. I'm from Phoenix, and I also hopefully use my private pilot's license to get into the Air Force.
I'm Heather Bonner. I'm from St. Gertrude's. I'm super excited to find out how to use aviation and open more doors to my future. My name is Aubrey Elbrock. I'm from Texas, and I came here to see if aviation is something that I wanted to do in the future. I'm Whitney Galt, and I just graduated from Eastbrook. I was in the high school GRCC class last year, and next year I'll be going to Iowa and getting a 4-year aviation degree, and I'm currently working on my private pilot's license.
Good morning, everyone. Alex Frondorf. I flew in from Howard from Cleveland.
I still can't hear.
It's okay.
Okay.
Morning, Jerry. I'm 52 years flying. I have 5 type ratings and jets. Fly a Phenom and a Eclipse jet. Live on an airport in Naples, Florida. Come up here to celebrate.
Austin Ott, private pilot for about 6 years. I fly a Grumman Tiger, XTR rating. But trying to
I'm on the career track program, so direct entry into the Air Force.
Oh. Oh.
Hi, I'm Liz Gryder, Liz Walsh. I was a Navy helicopter pilot. I also flew some fixed wing, the Piper, which is kind of equivalent to the Cessna, the Sky Patrol, the T-34 Charlie, and a baby helicopter and the bigger helicopter, which was an MH-60 Sierra. And now I'm working on my civilian stuff. Just got out of the Navy 5 years ago. 6? Anyways, this is my husband, Mike. He was a Marine. I don't know how that happened. This is my daughter, Rebecca, and that's our son, Thomas. And we moved back here. I'm originally from here. He's from Philadelphia area. And we are starting a Christmas tree farm here in Marion. So we bought the old Shade Hills Golf Course, and we just finished our first planting season. And I left a letter on the donut table for you if you want one more. Or you can donate to that. Happy to be back.
Yeah.
Mark Johnson. I work with the IW aviation program as well as the aviation first senior high school program here as well. So got to meet all of our cadets here about 6 weeks before they came. It's been just an awesome journey. So we're super excited to have them all here.
I'm Hope. I'm an engineering student at Oklahoma State commissioning once I graduate next year. Current plans to be a combat systems officer, but I'm hoping to switch to pilot before I fully commission next year.
All right, well, we've got a very special guest with us today. This is his second time to come to Marion, Indiana. Dan Gryder is, wow, he's a former Delta captain. He's flies lots of different airplanes, DC-3s to now it's a Citation. But he's also can be seen on YouTube. He hosts Probable Cause, which is he's a famous YouTuber, guys. So yeah, he's got it going on. But anyway, catch that. You got to catch some of his stuff. It's very good stuff. We're very big on safety, and that's why I love having him come back and talk to you guys, because it's very, very, very big on safety. He's got a whole goal and wish list of getting our fatal accidents down, and that trend is going. He'll talk about it for sure. But we've got that trend going on. So anyway, welcome, Dan.
That's it. Come on, you can do better than that. You got to show some effort here. This is ridiculous. Good morning. Glad to have you here. And they said free coffee and donuts. I'm in. Came all the way from Atlanta, so glad to see all you cadets here. This is my second year to be here to speak to the cadets at Marion, Indiana. Happy to do it. Last year I brought a guitar, and this year they said don't bring any musical instruments back with you. So that was the only, okay, we can improve on it. We do have a point and a reason that we're here. Who can tell me what the whole reason is, not for you being here, what's the reason for this meeting? What are we actually trying to accomplish here? What's our big universal goal amongst all of us? Anybody?
Do not kill yourself.
It's staying alive. There's a big difference in what you have chosen to do, airplanes, instead of becoming a bowler. What? Has anyone ever been killed learning to bowl? No. There are things like badminton and bowling and gardening that are much safer. Much safer. Airplanes, as much as we like them, they can severely kill you very quickly. And when that happens, we don't have a way to go back and fix what you did wrong. It's simply over, and we can't go back. That's why our emphasis is on prevention. Prevention is no accident. we have to take the appropriate steps up front and be very proactive on seeing what's about to happen and stopping it. Whatever bad is about to happen, we're not going to let that happen. That's your introduction. This will be very, very short because there's 2 more chocolate donuts over there that have my name on them. And I've been looking at them. I got a couple introductions to make. First of all, I'd like to introduce Jason Smoker right here, my friend from Marion, Indiana. Jason works with us on our DTSB and our AQP stuff quite a lot. He's one of our volunteers. And then we'll talk a little bit about what DTSB is so that you can understand that in just a second. But I'll say thanks for Jason, who's been my liaison. I wasn't even aware of this program up at Marion, Indiana, until Jason informed me of this. And so this is my second time up to be invited up from the Marion people here to come up here and do the safety talk. My other friend here is Howard Epstein. He's a medical doctor, and he's here to give you free medical advice today if you so desire. Right?
Yeah, if I can remember.
Howard's a retired doctor, but he flies an 836. He's on our DTSB board. So the DTSB is now a 501c3. We've got a board of directors and a CPA and a function. There is nobody on the board that receives a paycheck or gets paid in any way. We're all volunteers, 100%, including Howard. Howard didn't get paid to fly his Bonanza in here today. He volunteered to come in here and run this. And we're going to show you just a little bit about what we've done, but we're still getting back to that same goal. I see all these young people wearing red t-shirts. You guys have got to stay alive in these airplanes. You have to. There's some things we got to think about here because you check the box for flying instead of bowling. It's a big deal. Prevention has to do with collecting the information and learning from what just got done happening so that you don't do the exact same thing. Does that make sense? That's all we're trying to do. All right, so what is DTSB? Well, it's a joke. It started several years ago because NTSB is our government National Transportation Safety Board. How long does it take our government to put out a report and tell us what happened on the previous General Aviation Accident? How long does it take? Anybody?
From 3 to 5 million years.
That's a lot. They say 24 to 36 months, but 3 years is about an average to get a final report out there. They have been stepping up the pace a little bit, but our premonition here is that most of these accidents are clearly obvious what happened, and we should be able to tell you who was the pilot, what was their hours, what was their experience, what were the weather conditions, and what did they do? The word probable cause, DTSB is Dan's Transportation Safety Board. It's a joke. We're all volunteers. I said, this whole thing is so simple that even us, amongst ourselves, with no budget and no formal training, we can tell you what happened, pretty much. Is there a possibility that what we tell you could be wrong? There is that possibility. We're going to make a guess, a speculation. That's why we call it probable cause. This is what we probably think happened. So we built this website, and I'm going to show you just a couple of these things here. I do a lot of traveling around, and every now and then I have to set up a display board. So these are graphics off the website that you guys can search this website yourself and do your own searching. So the first one, I'm not going to put this on the screen here, but this is off the NTSB website. And what I did was I did a search. This is an NTSB search. You tell me, in the last 10 years of general aviation fatal accidents, How many accidents have we had from the start date of January 1, 2015 through the end of 2024? 10 years of information that they've collected here. How many accidents have they investigated? I know you can't see this number, but I'll read it to you. Our government has investigated, fully investigated, 11,078 general aviation accidents. 11,000 in 10 years. Out of that, how many recommendations have they issued to us? Now, you would think that every time something bad happens, our government should be able to step up and say, here's what you did wrong, here's what we recommend that you not do in the future, right? Does that make sense? They're charged by Congress to investigate and issue a recommendation. You tell me, out of 11,000 investigations over the last 10 years, how many recommendations has our government issued? Somebody give me a number.
0.
13. We've got 13 recommendations after 11,000 accidents. They're not telling us what happened in a timely manner, and they're not telling us what not to do. Is there a void there? Is there a gap that we could fill in and help ourselves, amongst ourselves? Could we perform a function for our fellow pilots to help fill this information in? We could. I'm going to give you an example before we get the PowerPoint fired up here. This is an example that is on the website, and this is an accident in a 172. Now, who's flown a 172 before? All right? This accident, the CFI's name was Bailey Moldano. This fatal accident occurred June 11th of 2024, a little over a year ago. She was 27 years old. She got killed. Her student did survive. It was day, VFR, just like Marion, Indiana. What could possibly have gone wrong? Have any of you, or you CFIs, have any of you learned anything from Bailey's accident? No. Have you ever even heard of it? No. They're hoarding the information. They're not telling you. How long will it be before our government produces a report on just this one accident? How long will it be before we see their final report on this? Two more years, probably. Well, guess what? DTSB is going to give you the answer. I'm going to read it to you. In our case, we give you a probable cause. It's probable, right? It's our best guess. I've been a pilot almost 50 years. I've been a CFI almost 40 years. I've flown everything, mostly in general aviation, and I continue to teach and instruct and give ratings and all that stuff. I'm very active. I've been messing with this data for 10 years. I look at what are some things that we have available to us that especially you kids have available to you right now that we did not have previously. What do we have today that's a huge tool for us? The internet. If you crash your airplane today, and I'm at home in Atlanta, I'm going to know about it an hour later, and I'm going to see video and your picture within 2 hours. And then I'm going to go to your Instagram and your Facebook. I'm going to see who you are, where you live, what you did in school, and what color your car was. Right? Absolutely. It's the internet. So we have flight tracking, we have ADSB, we have ATC audio, we have all these pieces of information, we have archived weather. Now when an accident happens, we get together, we pull the weather, we pull the transcript, we pull the ADSB, we go look at their Instagram page, we look at who was here, who were they doing, when did they get the private pilot's license, and you can start to build a picture. We're tracking the general aviation fatal accidents off this thing. So you want to know what Bailey did? Anybody want to know? I'm going to read it to you. The probable cause. The DTSB determines the probable cause of this accident to be pilot error. Most of them are pilot error. In that the CFI did allow the aircraft to stall during an attempted off-field landing, likely after a surprise reduction in thrust after takeoff, followed by a touch and go or a go-around? Who's done a touch and go or a go-around in a 172 so far? Yes. Who's gonna do a go-around in a 172? All of you. All of you are gonna do a go-around. She got a surprise go-around, or maybe a touch and go. We haven't been able to figure that out. The lighting condition was somewhat diminished as the accident occurred as the sun was setting to their left. The aircraft first impacted open terrain northwest of the departure runway in open field with energy insufficient for a flare, whereupon the left wing and left landing gear impacted the field. The aircraft bounced and made a further impact about 32 feet north of that location. The CFI died at the scene as a result of her injuries. The student pilot survived. Now, there's a lot of specific information in here. 32 feet, the impact point, the terrain. How do I know that? I went there. A lot of these, I go there. I want to see the spot where this thing hit. I want to see the runway. I want to see where this thing ended up, and I want to see how this airplane did this. Once you go to the spot, most of the time, a couple of weeks, 3 weeks later, the impact marks are still in the ground. You can still figure it out. This is a day VFR go-around. It's either a loss of thrust or a go-around or something happened, but she stalled the airplane in the go-around, and she ended up dead because of it. Now, the amazing thing, standing there at this particular location, the one thing is I stand there at the spot where this airplane impacted. What am I seeing around me? Wide open, flat. It's wide open and flat. Where could she have landed? Anywhere. I don't care where you land the airplane. Land it. If she had landed the airplane full flaps and dinged up a fairing and opened the door and stepped out, would I have ever known her name? No. Your objective is not in protecting the equipment and trying to get back to the airport. What's your objective?
Make it out alive.
I want you to stay alive at all costs. We can replace that airplane. We can absolutely replace that airplane. None of the rest of the stuff matters. How long does it take for us to replicate you and build another one of you? Can't be done. Can't be done. Took us 18 years to build you like it is, right? So, without further ado, I got to have a volunteer, and she's a volunteer to come up here. Yeah, come on. Yes, yes, you got to do it. We're going to have a volunteer right here. How are you? What's your name? Jasmine. And you're from where? Florida. I've heard of it. I'm going to read this to you again here. This says, installed during an attempted off-fuel landing likely after a surprise reduction in thrust. It's a surprise reduction in thrust. Now, what did she do? Did you see her face? She went like this, right? Yeah. Yes, you did. You know what that means? That means you're a human being. Natural human reaction. It's the surprise that's our demise. Now, check this out, Jasmine. I'm going to tell you up front right now. In the next 10 seconds, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Okay. I want you to look at the audience, and I want you to stay still faced. I'm about to do it. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? What's the difference? She knew it was coming, and she was ready for it, right? Thank you very much. Does your mom know you're here today? I mean, you don't even look old enough. Are you sure you're flying an airplane?
Yeah, I'm 17.
You're 17 years, and you're flying? Are you going to solo?
I already solo.
What? Scared?
No, it's a lot of fun.
Good, good. Tell me what the conditions were. What happened? Did your instructor fly with you and then all of a sudden say, I'm getting out? Or how did that
Yeah,
happen?
we did 3 go-arounds in the pattern, and my landings were decent, so he was like, how would you feel if you did a few landings on your own? So then he got out of the plane, signed my logbook, gave me the endorsement, and I went.
Perfect. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so then, important is it that we keep Jasmine alive? We can't replace that. We're going to take a look at this screen here. Let's go. This is our DTSB website. Let's go back to the home page. Here it is. This says, if you pull this thing up, it's called thedtsb.org. And if you go right here to AQP classifications, it's going to tell you what our AQP classifications are. Now, I have to tell you that our U.S. government, mostly the FAA, is to find all these things that you guys have to do to become a pilot and get further ratings. All these things, a steep turn. Who's done a steep turn? Everybody. What's the name that the government gives to the steep turn? That's called a maneuver. It's a maneuver. They've got their list of maneuvers that they want you to do. Is there any surprise or adrenaline or fear involved in performing a steep turn? Is there any shock? Is there anything that would cause you to go like she did? No. The guy says, let's do a steep turn. You look left, you look right, clear, and you start a turn. It's very easy. It's non-violent. There's no surprise involved in the steep turn, right? All the FAA maneuvers, short field takeoff, short field landing, turn across the road, those are all maneuvers. Is there anything life-saving in the maneuvers list that's going to help you once you become a pilot? There's not. The broad bucket of things that are maneuvers is totally different than the broad bucket of things that we call scenarios. Scenarios are bad things that are going to happen to you after you get your pilot's license or while you're soloing. I guarantee that if you fly an airplane long enough, something bad is going to happen to you. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but these are airplanes. They're mechanical. They can fail. Things can go wrong. Something is going to go wrong. My question is, how surprised will you be? Will you freak out? Will you either A, do nothing, or B, do the wrong thing? How can we prepare everybody in this room to better be prepared to know what the surprise is so that you do the correct thing? How could we do that? Well, what we've done is we've listed all the bad things that could happen to you in an airplane, and we put them on here. We've given them a number. And now when an airplane crashes, I say, now this is easy. He died of number 11. They never die of a steep turn. They never get killed from a maneuver. They get killed from an AQP scenario, something that happened to them, most likely involved surprise. Now there was somebody here from Purdue. I know you went to Purdue. Then there was a student here, Purdue. Did you go to Purdue?
Yeah.
What year did you graduate?
I just finished my first year.
Oh, okay. We lost a Purdue graduate yesterday, day before yesterday. Graduated from Purdue, not in aviation, he was an engineer. He had his own Looney. He made a takeoff in his Looney with his wife. And I'm going to read you the information on that on the screen in just a second. He made a takeoff, lost his engine at 600 feet, turned left, headed towards a field, didn't make it, slammed into a pole, and was killed instantly. He didn't go to the airport that day thinking that something was going to go wrong. He made a takeoff, he lost an engine, they heard the bang, the witnesses saw the puff of smoke come out of the airplane, and all of a sudden he got handed something that he was totally not expecting. He made it onto our list. This is our list of things you can remember. Things that could happen to you. 19, seat slides back. Your seat in your 172 could slide back on takeoff. And you're probably going to freak out and pull on the only thing that's in front of you, which is what?
No.
Is that a good idea?
No.
No. You'll die doing that. How many people die per year, seat slides back on takeoff and they end up dead? Quite a few. Out of gas. We're still running into out of gas. Seat slides back. Rejected takeoff. There's a thing in the airlines called a rejected takeoff, which means you have to be prepared to abort your own take day for your solo. It is not. Could it happen to you that you need to reject it? Yes. Would it be a good idea for you to be ready and aware and fully prepared and rehearsed? Would that be a good idea for you? I think it would. I think you ought to be ready to reject every takeoff, every time. Make the decision. Know what to do. What are your memory items for rejected takeoff? Crickets. Close the throttle, step on the brake, make an announcement on the radio, stop the airplane. Don't try to figure out what happened or why you had to reject. That's for later. Close the throttle, step on the brake, maintain control, get it stopped. Seatbelt out the door, an engine is smoking, something happened. Something caused you to make the decision to abort the takeoff. It's a rejected takeoff. Something. I don't care what the reason was. Know the procedure. On your flight training, you can practice a rejected takeoff. You can get up to about 62, right below rotation when the instructor chops the mixture. You know what you'll do with your hand? You'll take your hand and you'll push the throttle further forward. I guarantee you'll do it. It's because you haven't been conditioned to recognize that's an engine problem. What should you do with the throttle? Pull it. Pull it aft. Stop the airplane. Maintain control. Step on the brakes and get that airplane stopped. I recommend rehearsing for a rejected takeoff. It's one of our AQP scenarios. Let's go through here just a couple real quick. You can look at all these yourself. Here's the description. Loss of speed awareness. Go ahead and click on that one right here. Number 12, loss of speed awareness. If you click on that, it'll show you a map. There's a map of the United States. That's a map of where our loss of speed awareness fatals have happened in the last year and a half. For every one of those pins, we've lost an airplane and a pilot due to lack of speed awareness. Now what is lack of speed awareness? Well, all you guys are probably going to go on and fly and do a career. There's this thing called speed. We have to have it. And the airlines, you guys are familiar with VA, maneuvering speed. Maneuvering speed is the max speed at which full and abrupt control movements can be. Well, that's fine in a GA 172, knowing what VA is, and you call that a maneuvering speed. I'm talking about a defined minimum maneuvering speed. It's the slowest that you can go and still stay in the sky. Did you recognize that any airliner that you've ever flown on? Who's taken an airliner trip, a commercial airliner trip? Anyone? Who's ever been in an airliner as a passenger where the airplane was banked more than 30 degrees? Anybody? They don't do it. You know why? It's against policy. They're only protected on speed up to 30 degrees. They will not bank an airliner under any conditions more than 30 degrees, unless there's something really crazy going on. 30 degrees is the most. They've got their airspeed indicators placarded, the absolute minimum that you can fly for each different flap and slat configurations, and everybody knows what those are. What happens in an airliner, if you're the guy flying and you start to get very, very close to your speed being right on the defined minimum maneuvering airspeed, what's going to happen in that cockpit? No, you're going to hear the other guy go, hey, 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 hey. Just like your mom, when you're going out the door and about to do something stupid. You know how your parents always say that? A is not a word, but said 4 times in repetition, it means something. Right? You've heard it before. Absolutely. You're going to hear something from the cockpit. You're going to hear something from the other guy. We protect the maneuvering speed in airliners. Turboprops, jets. I fly one of these on occasion. I fly King Air 90 on occasion. I fly Citation on occasion. I know what my maneuvering speed is, even when I'm by myself in a jet. I treat that like the Holy Grail. I'm not getting slower than this until I'm on final. DMMS, defined minimum maneuvering speed. In the GA world, most of our accidents are being caused by loss of speed awareness. And now we're going to go to the other page here. Now let's go to the sort page. If you go up here, it's going to tell you to sort right up here at the top. There you go. And you can do this yourself. Now, right here, I'm just going to go to APP classification, and we're going to select loss of speed awareness. There it is right there. And now scroll down. Look at all the accidents. Every one of these represents a fatal accident and a dead body. Now let's further sort that by day VFR. How many of those accidents, loss of speed awareness, stalled, happened during the daytime, VFR conditions, just like you guys are flying? How many of those? Well, we can sort that. There's your day right there, and here's your weather. Day, night. We might not have that.
Thanks.
Anyway, you'd have to cut to the. I can tell you, most of those accidents are daytime good weather, just like you're flying. Isn't that amazing? What does our government have that replicates this? Nothing. They're going to take 3 years to produce a report. They're not going to break it down. They're not going to give you his name, his age, his medical status, his ratings. They're not going to do that. We've built this totally on our own, by ourselves, for free. You as students can use the DTSB website and track this information. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
That absolutely, off your phone or iPad or computer, you can go through, pick a random.
The majority of these are VOC.
Yes.
Sorry.
Go ahead and click any one of them. Just click one of them. And we'll read it. I'll read it. Quick. Yeah, that's fine. I'm trying to refresh my memory. Let's see, this is, here's his name, Darcy Freeman, male. It wasn't a flex school. He had a third class medical. He had no Mr. Rainey. He was private pilot. It was April 11, 2025, 7:10 p.m. Day, DMC on approach. 101 now let's read the probable cause. Here's what it says. The DTSB determines the probable cause of this accident loss of speed awareness. That's all it was. Which occurred during the turn from left downwind to left base. Who's ever turned from left downwind to left base? None yet? This is where this guy lost it right here. A witness located on the airport described as the airplane while it was on average leg for runway 35 at low altitude with a base leg turn. Witness is located in a housing community about 0.6 miles south of the airport, so the airplane heading south, turned back from the left wing drive, the airplane turned upside down. One witness saw the airplane spin about 1.5 revolutions before it descended out of their sight behind his house. It is unclear at this time what caused the lack of speed awareness to occur. In other words, we don't know what caused him to get distracted and lose track of the speed down at the base. We just know it was day VFR and a simple airplane with nothing going on. His engine didn't click, and today he's dead. Loss of speed awareness. Isn't that something? So we can take a look at, let's go to the most recent power. Okay. You go to see the dates that here. I have to scroll up right here. The most, let's do the second one. This is the Moody. This is the Moody. The Moody. This is your Purdue guy right here. This accident is only 4 days old, 3 maybe. It's 3 days old. We've already got a map, a location, the guy's name, age, and credentials. Everything's here. His name was Jeff Andrews. Upon going. It was June 19. What's the date today?
21.
It's 21? Yeah, this thing's 2 days old. We're a little bit faster than the US government.
I got a question. How hard is it for you to get the information that NTSB gets? Is it like, do you have full access or like, I'm thinking of the student that the instructor died. Were you able to interview the student? Are you able to interview pilots? Or do they have lawyers coming out and say, no, you can't talk to them?
Case by case basis. Sometimes we go to the site. Most of the time what happens is my cell phone will ring and somebody will say, hey, I can't give you my name, but I'm going to tell you, here's what the deal is. Here's what happened. Almost every time somebody will call me, they'll send pictures. I almost always get that. And then within about 10 days, the NTSB will report a preliminary report. It'll come out and it'll tell you the facts that they've got. So a lot of times we'll wait till after the preliminary comes out just to kind of double check what we're seeing versus what they saw. If it's significant enough, we'll send somebody to the site to look at it. Howard just went to one last week up in Ohio that was within an hour of his house, and he went and took pictures and looked at where it was. And because of his visit, we were able to make a pretty accurate determination on what that guy did. So NTSB doesn't share anything. They will not share their data. Their whole idea is to hoard all the information until they produce their final. And when their final comes out, there's no negotiating and no arguing. They're going to produce it. They're not CRM. They're not going to talk to the industry and solicit opinions and do all that stuff. That's just not the way they...
So they don't call you to ask your information?
No. We're not on speaking terms. They hate me. Their budget for the NTSB is $450 million per year. To get rent cars and hotels and to go to all these things, 90% of their work is general aviation. 90% of the work of the NTSB. They're spinning their wheels, they're justifying their budget because of GA, but they're not giving us any results. Typical government, don't get me started.
One of the problems is, for us, is we go on the internet and there's 5 opinions of what's going on.
Yeah.
5 different things, and they're adamant about this, and this.
Well, that's why we call this probable cause. And I'm not afraid to say that on occasion we go back and alter something once we get a little bit more information. But most of the time when you publish this, if there is something wrong, then my phone's going to ring and somebody says, hey, you got it all right except for this one thing. The tree that he hit was actually over here, not over here. The left wing actually hit here first and not there. And then you look at it in real ortheo. Ah, okay, that makes sense. Thank you for that tidbit of information. So we're purely amateur. We're not being paid in any way. In fact, it costs a lot of money to put all this stuff together. We had to design and build a website. The website genius that owns and manages all this stuff, his name is John. He's up in Minnesota. He's donated all of his time and expertise. I'm not a computer guy. I couldn't build this. I manage the team of people that writes these things and figures it out and publishes it. Is there any specific advantage to having this information available to you guys? Quickly, let's go to the, real quick here, let's go to the one that you went to, Howard. It's the one that's just, I forgot what kind of thing that was. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there you go. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, it's near Astor.
Gary Wolfeld, is that correct? Is that the correct name? Yeah. Okay. Let's go with the problem cause. He's 72 years old. No, that's not the same one. That's not the right one. The one, So the idea is to get the data to you guys more quickly, more efficiently, recognizing that there could be corrections that need to be made. It's a probable best guess, but I feel like some data more quickly is far better than waiting 3 years. You won't even remember it 3 years from now. You just won't remember it. All right, here it is. All right, this is one how the DTSB determines probable cause this action to be pilot error, and the pilot intended the impossible turn, a right-hand turn after takeoff of the aircraft lost ability to climb. So what we found out was that it was a maintenance flight. The new owner was with the mechanic. The mechanic was flying the airplane. They went out there to try this airplane, and they rolled down the runway. They aborted their own takeoff because something wasn't right. Everybody saw them attempt to take off, stop. They went back and they put it in the hangar for 2 hours. Then they get back out on their second attempt. That's when this happens. This airplane did get airborne. It cleared the trees going south, and then they had an engine problem. The guy turned hard right, trying to get back to the airport. That's when he stalled, flew through the trees, caught fire. The guy in the right seat actually survived. It was burning, but he got out. The guy in the left seat was alive, and it was burning, and he could not get out. It's probably the worst way to die, trapped in an airplane that's on fire, and you can't get out. The word impossible turn, that's an AQP scenario. I want to tell you as pilots, your incentive to turn around and make it to a runway is false. Where do I want you to make it to? Anywhere. Say it loud.
Anywhere in front of you.
Anywhere. Doesn't have to necessarily be in front of you. Anywhere where you can put the aircraft. It took us 17 years to build this kit. I don't have another 17 to build another one. The airplane, whatever. Put it anywhere. Getting your 172 back to this runway at Marion is not our objective. Land it off field. Have you looked around Marion? You know what's around here? Nothing. There's nothing in Marion, right? I tried to eat dinner. There's not much here. No, I will say I did fairly good last night. I found a couple good places and had a great evening. It's a nice little town. It's a farm town. You notice all around here, it's open fields. Take advantage of those. Are you going to hurt the airplane landing off field? It's possible. Might flip over, possible. Might hurt the landing gear, it's possible. Are you going to be able to undo the door and crawl out of the thing? Yeah. That's your objective. 100% that's your objective. So AQP stands for Advanced Qualification Program. I was a pilot at Delta. I was an instructor at Delta. They introduced this thing to me called AQP. You guys that go onto the airlines and fly for the airlines at some point are going to hear the words AQP. It simply means that we don't train you on the basis of maneuvers. Now we train you on the basis of scenarios. Your entire training and check ride and everything you do is scenario based. They throw you in the sim. Once you're in the sim, what happens to you in the sim? Bad things happen in the sim. Every time. They want to see how you're going to respond to that. They threw this at you. Were you ready? What's your secret to passing a check ride at the airlines? Secret. Preparedness. If you're prepared, you're going to pass. What's the number one question the night before a check ride amongst all applicants in the simulator? The number one question. What's on the check ride? What are they going to give us? And if they know it's going to be failure of the main DC bus in conjunction with a landing gear that will not retract, well, guess where I'm going in the books tonight? I'm going to figure this out, get out the abnormal checklist, and figure out, okay, that's what they're going to do to me. When it happens, this is what's going to happen. He's going to fly. There's this. It says to pull R42 circuit breaker and wait 5 seconds. Well, where's R42 circuit breaker? Tonight would be a good time to figure out where that thing's at. so that things can go smoother. Can you, as human beings, capitalize on the ability to look ahead and see what's about to happen to you? Absolutely you can. The whole thing you're doing here in flight training has to do with maneuvers. You've got a very good program, very good instructors. They're going to teach you FAA Part 61 maneuvers, no more, no less. Can you ask for, incorporated with your flight training, can you ask for a sprinkling in of the AQP scenarios? Yes, you can. Does it cost anything? No. Is there any extra paperwork required? No. It's knowledge, it's information. You can actually look ahead and start studying up. These 22 things that I've got listed here are all possibilities of things that are going to happen to you. I've taken the time and trouble to list them out, define them, give them a number, and every time an accident happens, associate an accident with a number. See how that works? We don't have a maneuver listed on here. They're all scenarios, 100% scenarios. We have a AQP conference in January. It's our first one in January. It's in Orlando for anybody that's online that's listening. It's a 3-day conference. It's an AQP conference. It's actually General Aviation Safety Summit. At that Safety Summit, we're going to go over all the data for 2025. As of midnight, New Year's Eve, 2025, I'll know exactly how many airplanes and pilots we lost in 2025. By the time we stroke midnight on 2025, the year 2025, I'm going to have it totaled up and in the database. I might not have an exact probable cause on the one that happened New Year's Eve day yet, but I'll have the number, the end number. You know, we lost 2 airplanes yesterday. They're not in here yet, but they will be in the next day or so. We lost a Pitts S2B in North Carolina, day VFR, stall spin, spun it all the way in, practicing aerobatics, 2 dead, and then we lost a 172 up in Montana, loss of speed awareness. A guy flying over his property in a 172 that lost speed awareness, stall spin in Montana. So by the time we get to the end of 2025, we will definitely have all that data totaled up. If you'd like to attend that conference, you can talk to me or Howard. If you're online and you'd like to attend that conference, the cost is $1,195. That's our early bird special rate. That's our cost. That's 3 days, which includes your hotel accommodations, your resort fee, your food, all the educational seminars. It's 3 days. It's all inclusive. That's our cost. I had no idea this is our first conference to produce. I had no idea they cost this much. But try booking a resort conference with the education rooms and all that content and everything that you got to do with the food and the service to host that many people for that many days. Well, it came out to about $11.95 per person. So we're just about at the end of our early bird registration. We've sold. We're going to sell 63 of those at cost, and then the price goes to $16.95, where we'll actually start to make just a little bit of profit on the thing. But once we get to our first 63, those will be filled up. If anybody wants in on that, it'll be a great time in January. You'll be off school still down there, so that'll be good. All right, I'm going to quit here. I know I've drone on and on. I'm a drone pilot. Right? People ask me, Dan, are you a drone pilot? I say, well, I can talk a lot. That's droning. I just want to say thanks again for, especially for Dwight, for hosting us, having the vision, the forethought to think about this, the educational impact, to influence. You know, we talked, Dwight said I'm a famous YouTuber. That's not true. I'm an amateur YouTuber. I do everything on YouTube for fun. I don't make any money off of YouTube, but they call us influencers. And I take the opportunity to travel around. I am here to attempt to influence each one of you. You are absolutely worth the effort for me to impart to you how important it is to look ahead, prepare, and be ready, and don't be surprised. You end up dead in this airplane, I can't fix that. There's nothing I can do, and I've seen it. It's horrible. It's completely horrible. We have got to place specific emphasis on prevention, knowledge, preparation, and being aware of these AQP things that could happen to you while you're out there flying around in your airplane. Does that make sense? Good? All right, I got 3 minutes left. Any questions or anything that I can figure? Yes, sir.
What can you tell us about the King Air that ended up on top of a hangar?
I know everything about that King Air and that accident. I'm going to do a video on it. I've flown that airplane before. I knew the owner. His name was Les Gordon. I know the whole story. I won't get into it here. Nobody died, which is very, very good. Did you guys see that, the King Air that ended up? Yeah. That's a short field landing. Yeah, he saw the poster for spot landing that day, and he said, I'm in. He landed on a spot. Very, very fortunate. I'm glad nothing worse happened there. Anybody else?
Just tell us the fatal statistics for where we're at right now compared to last year.
Good question, Dwight. Put this back up on the screen here. We track this in a metric called fatal accidents per month. When I started this project 6 years ago, we were running 18, 19, sometimes 20 general aviation fatal accidents per month just in the United States. 20. We've whittled it down, 19 and 18. Currently, here's where we started keeping the data here. The oldest one here is 2019, we were at 18 per month. 2020, we did 16.83. 2021, we're 15.916. This is fails per month. 2022, we did 15.33. 2023, we ended up at 14.5. 2024, last year, our goal was 13, go sub 13, and we did it just barely 12.66. Currently, this number is updated every day automatically. Today, we're at day 172 of 365. We've had 54, not including the 2 that haven't been added that happened in the last 24 hours. Those aren't in there. So we're actually 56, and we're at 9.549 fatal accidents per month. That number is creeping up. Our goal is to try to get this down below 12 by the time we have our party in Orlando. 12 is the goal. 12 times 12 is 144. We ended up last year at 152. I'd like to see this down below 144. 12 per month is the goal. Yes, ma'am.
Talked about this last year, and I'm sorry if I missed it. We were a little late, but in the Navy and military, we call it a training timeout. Like, could you tell these young pilots, like, if they don't like something that's going on in the cockpit, if they feel uncomfortable, how do they handle that?
Good question. She's talking about abnormals and things that aren't quite right. There are going to be situations that you kind of get forced into. Normally they have to do with a go decision. We have to go, this is going on, and you're not feeling good about it. There's a thing we have out there called CRM, and you've got a cell phone. Before you board the airplane, you can say, I gotta use the restroom, give me 3 minutes, make a phone call your instructor, say, here's what's going on, here's what I don't like. They're wanting us to fly dual from here to here. The weather's not that great, and I just don't feel good. Get a second opinion from somebody. You absolutely have the right not to board the airplane. And how do you do that? Well, sit down on the ground. I'm not getting in there. I'm not going. Could that cause a problem? It could. But I'd rather see you do that. I remember that 172 Grounds of Warrior crash in Kentucky last year with the CFI of the student in the middle of the night that flew the thing into the thunderstorm. Remember that one? That kid's dad called me the day afterward and said, I didn't even know he was out flying. Literally, the kid's dad, not the CFI, but the student. The student's father called me the next day and said, he flew directly into a thunderstorm at 1 a.m. And I said, yeah, but you're the dad. Why was your kid with this kid at 1 a.m. in an airplane? If it had been my kid, I'd have said, you're going to be at home in bed by 10 p.m. Yes. We're not doing that. Yes, sir.
How do we find, for the planes we're flying, the DMMS?
I would like to mark your airplanes with DMMS if you would allow me to, and I can do the entire thing in less than 3 minutes per airplane. I'd like you to learn to fly DMMS and VREF. We do that with a little sticker, no paperwork required, no logbook entry required, and no FAA approval required. If you don't like it, peel it off. Once you fly with DMMS and VREF marked on your airspeed indicator, you'll never go back. You'll never go back. Absolutely. It's the easiest way to do it. I marked it on Jason's 182 last year, year before. It's still on there. I put a DMMS and VREF marker on his Baron yesterday. We're training in his Baron right now. Those markers will never come off there. It's a clear reminder. Jason, tell me what DMMS, what is the speed in your 182? What is that number?
I don't know.
He has no idea. Jason's an idiot. He cannot remember numbers. I can't either. You know what we do? We mark it on there. It's pretty simple. I'm either faster or slower than this reference. Doesn't really matter what the number is. It's the same concept that the airlines went to. We cannot remember all those numbers. We can't. It makes it very simple. Airplane to airplane. Down into base, we're not busting the MMS. You're on final. VREF is your minimum. What is VREF? By definition, what is VREF? 1.3 VSO, right? Nod your head. Yes, it's a pretty good. Yes, 1.3 VSO. That's your FAA definition. FAA calls it 1.3 VSO. In the airlines, we call it VREF. You might as well call it VREF. You're going to be required to refer to it as VREF the rest of your life. VREF plus 5, VREF plus 10, whatever you want to. It's a minimum. Don't go lower than VREF. You can put that in all your airplanes. It doesn't hurt a thing. It increases your awareness of space and time and where you are. Gives you one more opportunity to keep your eyes outside the airplane, looking for airplanes, and take a peek at your airspeed indicator. It's your how's it going indicator on your airspeed indicator. Within a microsecond, you can see exactly how you're doing, and your CFI in the right seat can say, right? Because that's what you're going to hear. Down into base, base to final. Don't get that thing slow and uncoordinated and pulling, because you will be dead. I hate to be the bearer of frankness, but you guys are not bowlers, you're flyers. You have to have this information. You have to have the frank information, how serious this topic is. You will definitely end up severely killed if you do this the wrong way. Several different categories of being killed. There's mildly killed, marginally killed. This is severely. You can become severely killed. In a Piper Cub, you can become just barely killed, but you're still killed. Don't do those things. Prevention. I got 2 boys. I tell them, stay out of biker bars after midnight. You know why? Nothing good is going to happen. What's the best way to avoid something bad? Would it be to pick up a pool cue and fight your way out among those Harley guys? Or fight your way out of that bar after things go down? Would that be the way to do it? Might work, but probably won't. Best thing, 10 p.m., get home and get in bed. Don't be in a biker bar after midnight. It's not a good place to be, right? All kinds of places in your airplanes, these are not good places to be. That's why prevention is no accident. Anybody else before I quit here? Yes?
You were in charge.
I would open the data. I would share data, all data, instantly. I would increase the rate of probable causes, and I would start producing a hand-in-hand recommendation with each accident, just like I do. Every one of my accidents has a probable cause and a recommendation. I don't miss. I'm going to give you my best recommendation. Sometimes my recommendation is don't do that. Here's what killed this guy. My recommendation is you don't do that. I would produce a timely probable cause a timely recommendation, and I would share all the information. The docket, the data, we sent somebody there, we made the measurements, I would make it all public. Here's everything that we know. I would share all of that. That's what we should be doing. Good question. Anybody else? All right, good. Are you guys excited about flying?
Yes, sir.
It's a crazy career adventure. The guys on this side of the room with the gray hair have been there, or no hair. They've been there, done it, flown for a career. I've flown my entire life. I've been all over the world. I've eaten dinner in some exotic places that you just can't believe. You can make good money. You can travel, all those things. It's fun. Flying the airplane is fun. All that stuff is totally fun. The big downside is, boy, you can get killed doing this. Absolutely, you can get killed. You have got to get very proactive about studying up, preventing, and thinking about what you're about to do up there. Yes?
Oh, of the 13 that the NTSB did give recommendations for, what was there a common theme of the ones that they eventually gave recommendations for, or?
No, that's a good question. This question is out of the 11,000 accidents they investigated, they produced 13 recommendations. What was it that was in there? NTSB is only interested, they'll only produce a recommendation on a specific mechanical something that they could find. So if your airplane took off and you had a carburetor float valve that's stuck and we found out that your carburetor is faulty, they would produce a recommendation that says the cause of this fatal crash was the loss of thrust due to a bad carburetor and the bad float valve spring. Our recommendation is that the manufacturer fix all these springs and all these carburetors. Their recommendation almost always has to do with fixing something mechanical that isn't quite right. Who's truly at fault here? If you lost an engine on your takeoff because of a faulty spring, let's say that it was truly faulty, not your fault that the engine quit. If you took off from Marion in your 172, your engine quit and you killed yourself, whose fault is that? Well, you were not aware that the carburetor was faulty when you took off. You got surprised. So is that the fault of the manufacturer? You ended up dead. Is that your fault or the spring's fault? What do you think? In my opinion, these are things that happen to you. It's your fault for not lowering the nose and landing the airplane. Yes, you got handed a bad deck of cards here that you should have been able to handle it. This is your fault for not lowering the nose and landing the airplane. You have to be able to do that. I cannot guarantee that your engine is reliable. In fact, I wish that engines were less reliable. We've built them so reliable that we don't pay any attention. Let's start automatically introducing a random number generator in the engine so that every 10th takeoff, the engine quits. Wouldn't that be a great idea?
No.
How would it change your operation of the 172 if you knew that 1 out of 10 takeoffs the engine was going to quit? Would you do anything different?
Sell it.
Huh?
Sell it.
Sell it. You get my point, though. We've made our engines so reliable that we're shocked when it doesn't work. I want you to be shocked when it works. Be totally prepared. Lower the nose. Go straight ahead. I got 2 kids. I built both of them into pilots. My older son flies 747s for Atlas. My younger son just got his CFI and he's on the way up. Both of them are ATP babies. They don't know that there's another way to do it. They have no idea that you guys are doing it your way. They got fully trained and prepared the AQP way. They think that's normal for everybody. It should be. Should be the whole thing. So anyway, thank you again for your invitation here. It's good to see you guys. I wish you the very, very best of luck. If I can personally do anything for anybody, we have a ton of resources and people and stuff. If we can answer any questions or help in any way, we're totally open to that. And I just want to say thanks to Dwight for hosting us here and holding back those 2 chocolate donuts that you promised me. It's totally good. Thank you again for coming. Thank you, I appreciate that.